My wife suddenly said, "You know that guy from the gym? We need to talk about him." The words landed in my chest like a brick dropped from the sky, heavy and sharp. I froze mid-step, the mug of coffee trembling in my hands, spilling a thin river onto the counter. Her voice was calm, deceptively casual, but the weight behind it twisted my stomach into knots. "What about him?" I asked, forcing my tone to stay steady, but my heart was hammering against my ribs. She hesitated, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "It's complicated. I just think you should know." I wanted to laugh. I wanted to tell her I was joking. But something in the set of her jaw told me this wasn't a joke. Not today. I set my coffee down, and we sat at the small kitchen table, the morning light slicing to the blinds in thin golden lines that felt suddenly too bright, too exposing. "Tell me?" Her eyes darted away. I've been spending time with him. More than I probably should." The words hit like a slap. My throat closed, and I had to swallow several times before I could speak. "Spending time? What does that mean?" She sighed, long and trembling. I didn't mean for it to happen. It started with just talking, and then She stopped. My mind raced ahead, filling the gaps with the worst possibilities. "Go on," I said, my voice tight brittle. Her gaze finally met mine, a fragile, guilty thing that almost made me falter. We've kissed." I blinked, the sound of it echoing in my skull. Kissed. Not just talking, not just time spent, but kissed. My hands shook, and I gripped the edge of the table so hard my knuckles went white. A cold fury bubbled up beneath the shock, a mixture of disbelief, betrayal, and grief. "How long?" I asked, voice barely more than a whisper. 3 weeks, she admitted, and every syllable burned. I should have shouted. I should have slammed the table. Instead, I felt hollow, as if the floor had fallen away beneath me. 3 weeks, and I hadn't known. 3 weeks where I had trusted her completely, where I had believed in our life together. I don't understand," I said finally, words catching. "Why?" Her hands twisted in her lap. "I don't know. I guess I felt unseen. You've been working late so much, and I thought maybe he saw me differently." I wanted to tell her that I loved her, that nothing had changed for me, that her distance had been just fatigue, stress, but my voice wouldn't obey me. It was choked with pain and disbelief. "I can't believe this," I said finally, my voice breaking. "I thought we were a team. I thought you loved me." "I do love you," she said, almost desperate now. "I love you more than anything. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to hurt you, but it had hurt me, carved into my chest with every word she spoke." I left the kitchen then, pacing the living room, the familiar furniture suddenly foreign, as if every memory we'd built together had been tainted. I could see him in my mind, his face in the mirror of our shared life, the ghost of betrayal twisting everything I knew into something sharp and bitter. Over the next days, the evidence was everywhere. Subtle messages on her phone she couldn't delete quickly enough, the lingering scent of cologne that wasn't mine, little evasions that suddenly made sense. The trust one had taken for granted eroded with every passing hour. I wanted answers, confrontation, anything to make sense of the chaos she had sown. When I finally faced her again, the conversation was brutal, honest, and raw. Tears streaked both our faces. I wanted to scream at her, to scream at myself, to scream at the universe for letting this happen. But more than anything, I wanted to understand how the person I had loved, the person I had trusted with every secret and every fragile piece of my heart, could have let herself wander so far. "I don't know how to forgive you," I said, voice trembling. "I don't know if I even can." "I'll do anything," she whispered. "Anything to make this right. I'll leave him. I need time," I interrupted, shaking my head. Time to think, time to feel, time to breathe without this poison in my chest. And so I walked away, the weight of betrayal pressing down, but a strange clarity threading through the pain. I realized that love, even when broken, still demanded honesty from both sides. And maybe the hardest part of love was knowing when to hold on and when to let go. I didn't know what the future held, I didn't know if we could rebuild, or if the cracks had become too wide, too deep. But as I stood at the edge of everything I had thought was safe, I understood one thing. Betrayal changes you, leaves you raw and bleeding, but it also teaches you what you deserve and what you can survive. And that, in its own bitter way, was the first step toward reclaiming my own heart.